16:10 is a pretty cool aspect ratio, but it's mostly reserved for laptops and portable monitors, kind of like this guy, the Sotsu FlipAction Elite 16. We've got the space black version, and it's 4K, 3840 by 2400, thanks to that extra screen space. But unfortunately, it's only 60 hertz, because they're trying to compare it to Apple devices. They're saying, and this is their claim, that they're as color accurate as your Apple device. I'm not sure how much I believe that. In fact, I don't believe it, because we've, had the lab test it. But I'll get to the results in a second here, because first, I want to unbox this thing. We got the cool carrying case that says Sotsu. I love the name. I'll just be straight up. I love the Sotsu name. I don't know why. There's just some words that are fun to say. Like dongle. Pull up. So you pull up, and then here it is. And this is basically it. And it's got some cool instructions for like how to use the stand and the OSD and whatnot. And actually there's not instructions, but what we do have is a little like mini HDMI, main type C, power in, SD slot, sub type C. I like that it's all very clearly labeled. Also, it feels terrible holding it like this, but it's a portable display. They're gonna be a little more rugged than your typical monitor. I'm gonna peel this off, that's for sure. Yeah, oh my God, what do they have? What is it on here with? All right, that's some strong glue on that peel. Oh my God. Please let this one be an easier peel. Please, 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 please. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's more along what I was expecting. Yeah, looks pretty normal. Pretty thick bezels, to be honest, but it's also pretty thin and very light. Even if you had this guy, that's not too much weight. Super easy to just carry around, throw it in a bag or something. What else is in our box? We get a user manual, cool. Yeah, just table of contents. It's got a bunch of stuff about like adjusting the monitor and how to do all those things. That's great. And then what's in this other box? I'm guessing a cable. It is a nice right angle USB-C connector. That's always great to see. This thing doesn't use a ton of power. It's only like 15 watts. Pretty short cable, but hopefully you're just going device to device. Shouldn't need to be long anyway. So that's it. That's the whole box. Okay, what I'm really curious about is the stand, because apparently it's pretty decent. So that's one part, and then this is the base, and it looks like they slot together. Ooh, this is... Okay, hold on a second. I mean, hey, look, you can just set it up like this. That's not bad. It's like a little drawing tablet monitor or something. We do have some I/O here. Like, it looks like there's a SD card slot, and then our power in, USB-C, and mini HDMI. Oh, and is that the... Yeah, there's a little USB-C connector here, and then a slot for it in the bottom. Okay, but why does... Hold on a second. So there's ports here, and then these things connect to each other. But why? Because there's no I/O on this. Like anywhere. So what the does that not do anything? Is that just for stability? Well, whatever they're using it for, I'm gonna use it for a little bit of extra stability as I connect our stand. And it's gonna need it, because I'll be honest, it's definitely in there. It's not gonna just come out, but something about that just doesn't feel right. It feels way too flimsy. Now that the monitor's on though, this is like pretty easily adjustable, and I do like that it's magnetic or something here? Either that or like on a hinge that closes. One thing you can do if this isn't enough movement for you,
I'm not seeing enough movement,
especially because there's no connector in there, you just flip it around. I don't know if I like this more or less, but you could put it like this if you want to. It's a little unstable, maybe don't do that. But yeah, it's an option. I don't know. This is one of those products that like, it's not for me. I think it's neat, and I'm happy to take a look at it. And people seem to like it. Like, I read a lot of reviews on their website, and most of them are good. But, let's plug it in and see what it looks like turned on, because maybe it's pretty solid. I can't do that, though, until I tell you about our sponsor.
It sure would suck if you were trying to game on your new 50 series card and boom! Your whole computer turned off. MSI's MPG 850GS power supply is built with the newest GPU's needs in mind. That's including the latest and compatible native 12-volt 2x6 connectors. It is energy efficient and is backed by the 80+ gold certification. And unlike your upstairs neighbor, the power supply is quiet, letting you game in peace. Make sure your next upgrade has the power it needs by grabbing your MPG 8850GS in the link down below.
One issue I have, I've got the same problem with the Sony InZone M9, I think, where it has that stand where when you want to pull it down, since it's on a weird angle, it goes forward. Well, this thing's gonna do the same. Yeah. For some reason, I was just cycling test patterns. Blue, black, red, green, white. Hell yeah. I don't know what it's doing. So let me just press the navigation OSD button. Input auto, input main. Input HDMI, input sub. Okay. There is no display detected. Well, hold on. What if I switch from power in to main? Okay, that seemed to work. You can plug this in with 2 USB-C cables if you want to fully power this on its own and then plug it into a main DisplayPort over USB-C connector, and then that'll power it as well. It's only 15 watts, I guess, so yeah, that's fine. I've had portable monitors before. I've recommended other ones before too, and I'm not against them. I think they're great for LANs and like other times that you want a laptop and you want a small screen to accompany it. Because like the nice thing about this is, and they have this on their website as well too, this isn't gonna fit very well, but it does fit like, how'd they do it on their webpage? I mean, yeah, I guess, but like,
Now keep going.
what? I didn't even think to try this. But that is very unstable. Look at this. I'll say this is pretty sleek. I'm not saying that no one else can do this and someone else can't figure out a way to do this, but it's pretty cool. You know, you put your MacBook like just underneath and then boom. You've got your 2-device setup right here, no problem. For the rest of this video, just because filming is kind of tough, we're gonna pull it off the stand. And I'm just gonna use, how did I do that? Okay, so rotate it. That's pretty awesome. It's a little finicky, like as it locks, but it can just, like if I just twist my wrist, it'll just go. There we go. That's probably the worst thing I've ever done to a monitor. For the greater good, it must be done. This is pretty sweet. I like it in this little like propped up stand mode. It is not a touch screen, so that's kind of a bummer. I won't reveal the price just yet, but an iPad Pro is like $1,100 for the smaller one, or you can get an iPad Air for cheaper than this display. And then you've got an iPad Air that you can just, now you've got an iPad that can do a whole lot more than this thing can. But let's watch some content on it, because you know, maybe it's fine. I don't think it supports HDR, but that's fine. I love FlipAction. Oh, you can turn up brightness up and down directly on the OSD. It's just up and down on the thing here, and that's, you know, that's fine, that works. What about left and right? What do those do? Okay, color, picture. Yeah, I have way more options now. Okay, that's good. Backlight. You can change the backlight and the brightness. That's nice. Not all monitors let you do that. Color, you can also do color adjustments as well, which is a pretty big plus. You're gonna want to, based on our results that I get to later. It's not awful, but like, it's definitely not next to an Apple display or a MacBook. My one like major complaint is that the bezels are actually like very noticeable. I would have loved to see this have some thinner bezels, especially like with this MacBook right here. It's clearly like double the thickness in the bezels than this guy. But it's got really good PPI. You know, it's a small screen at 16 inches and it's 4K 16 by 10, so 3840 by 2400, which gives you around 283 PPI, which is pretty sharp. Like just flat out, that's pretty solid. Maybe you're a creative and it's great to have something like this on your desk, but if you're gaming and you want to take it to a LAN, well, I've got to say 60 Hertz is disappointing, but it's also not uncommon on portable displays like this. Whoa, okay, you know, I'll say this. The screen looks pretty vibrant. The flames and all the water looks great. I'm playing the remaster, to be fair. The 60 Hertz really hurts, I won't lie. Even in like the cutscene, it felt slow, even though that's probably at like 30 FPS or something. So probably blame that, but I don't know. It just, yeah, it looks good, like colors and whatnot. There's decent color coverage. It's not perfect. It's not an OLED. It's not a quantum dot display, but it's not bad. Viewing angles, also not awful. Like it's tough because I've got studio lights shining on everything, but it's you know, it's viewable. I mean, the camera with the top down, it's not as ideal, but like, here you guys go. Some nice footage of BioShock right when it goes to black. Oh, because it's trying to flip. That's another thing that actually works quite well. Even when I'm just like rotating the screen up and down to flip it 180, it auto flips like no problem at all. Yeah, I don't know. I could still game on it. Like, I grew up with way worse than 60 hertz, and I grew up in a time when like 60 FPS was the goal. Like, you wanted 60. And so this is totally playable to me, but it's not perfect. That's for sure. Whoa, 1680 by whatever. Put it up to 4K, widescreen, hell yeah. Field of view 100. Apply. Oh, this is so much better. Okay. Part of my impression was definitely the fact that this was autoing to like 1080p or worse. Looks way better now. But the color management still isn't perfect. Apple does help things out, and so if you are connecting this to an Apple device, it's gonna measure like above a Delta E2000 of 3 or 3.5 even average, which is okay, but it's not the sub 2 that you're looking for when it comes to color accurate work that you're going to find out of the box on your MacBook or your Studio display or pretty much any Apple display that you're going to buy. And then if you're not using this for Apple, if you're using this for, say, your Windows machine or whatever, you're taking it to a LAN or something, in that case, we measured a Delta E2000 average of 4.83, which is, you know, like, for most people, you're not really gonna notice too much, but I think that when you've got your Apple device underneath, like your MacBook underneath, and then this thing on top, and you're looking at the same thing, they're gonna look relatively different. At least different enough that I think that the human eye can notice it. And that's kind of the opposite of what you're looking for when you're picking up a second display for like color accurate work. And now, the real kicker is the price. The Sotsu FlipAction Elite 16 is $780, which, okay, for 4K portable, not terrible, but like, I'm sure you can find something out there that's a little better for a little cheaper or about the same price. At about $800, I wish this thing was $600, and then I'd actually have almost no problem, you know, at least saying, hey, it's an option, maybe not recommending it, but at this much money, I've got to say, I would recommend you go somewhere else, especially because the stand is like super integrated. You're not going to be pulling this off. All the power and everything is in here. You can feel this is actually decently warm now that I've had the screen on for a while. You can get a VESA adapter, but then you're paying more money for that. You could also go a step down and spend about $600 and get the Pro instead of the Elite, but you're sacrificing resolution. At that point, you're getting a 2560 by 1600 display, which is, you know, 1440p is not bad. I don't know. I don't think I can recommend it. I would love to see some cool design elements from this in a slightly cheaper model, but I don't even know if you're really gonna find that. I don't know, this one's so weird. If you're looking for something with a touchscreen, they do have a touchscreen as well for cheaper than this, so maybe check that out. Or if you really want to, check out some other videos. I'm Ploof, this is ShortCircuit, and this is the FlipAction Elite 16 from Sotsu. Some people want it, there are reviews, people are purchasing it. It's not for me. Sorry, Sotsu.